I'll be right back. I gotta join.
I've been P6.
Hey guys. Oh. Hi. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. I just got keep your eye on the leader. Put your camera on the P1R Ferrari, please. Mr. Casual.
Mine.
Hey Stig, are you should I be seeing the stream on
Oh,
Discord?
I'm sorry.
Look at this.
I'm stupid.
Yep. No, you're not stupid.
I'm the
It's-
camera. What?
You're good. I was like, how am I supposed
Oh,
to do
some of the
on stuff like
freaking
this?
liveries didn't load. I think it's because it was short notice.
And
You or the host might have to, or sorry, whoever is unable to see the liveries needs to do the, clear cache, reboot, and all that stuff.
No, it's too late now.
So,
It's Mr.
yeah.
Casual. He's here. He's in.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. All right, I got to interact with the browser so I can go full screen. You can see it. Close this chat
And
box.
I'm on the leader now.
It's fine. I just got to keep my eye open because I need to tell them when to
Okay.
go. So as soon as you start seeing that guy refuel, I have to get a timer for 63 seconds.
All right. Okay. That over there. There.
Stopwatch. Are you seeing the stream on
Yeah.
on the IRO YouTube?
Yeah, I got it
Okay.
on my other screen.
Looks good.
Yeah, everything seems to be normal.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Might help.
All right. Looks like they have one more hot lap left.
Yeah, because
So-
they're on 65 and 66 would be the inlet, I think.
66, yes, is in lap. And if you guys want to go ahead and start commentary, we could discuss some of the things about the
I
race.
can't see anything yet. I can't discuss anything.
I got the stream pulled up, so
Oh, you know what? I do have the live stream. It's just showing. Looks like Tom Fear in the pits. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm doing comms off that. Sorry, I assumed I was doing it off the Discord. There may be some latency between what I see and what I say, though, this way.
Oh,
But yeah.
You're right. I could do that. I could share the screen.
Yeah, please. YouTube is often a little bit behind.
Why is it not letting
Yeah.
me do it?
But yeah, they're on the in lap. Super is in, from what I can see on the stream.
Tati, I will try to share my screen. It's not letting me for some weird reason.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, Discord. Okay, let me do... No, not that. We need projector. Put it on, guess that one. Okay, and then share. Here you go, Tati. In Discord, I got my screen shared.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I see it now. Appreciate you. That is.
See,
oh yeah, and it is on different time.
Yeah, Mavericks. Refueled in and out. Hello everyone. Kinda been a hectic afternoon, but hope you're doing all right. As you can see, we got Tati here. It's actually our first interaction with each other.
It really is, and you know what? We were so busy trying to get set up and stuff. Your hard work. We didn't even get to actually introduce ourselves to each other. But hi, Nolander. I'm Tati. Very excited to do a stream with you for the first time.
But yeah, for those that don't know who I am Mr. Casual.
So sorry, I said Nolander. Yes, right.
Oh no, you're fine. But yes, nothing that we can't handle. But we're here. Yeah, you have me and Tati for commentary.
That's right. And you know what, Mr. Casual, since you have a big job to do, you're hosting and doing all that jazz, I don't mind taking over main comms, and you can stick with color and get to focus on maybe like less stuff.
That's fine by me, since I am in charge of Split 2, Stint 1.
Right, exactly. You've also got that. Let's give you a rest here. Give your voice a little breaky break. We're on board with Maverick here. Who's that coming out of the pits? Little touch on the dirt that's in game. That is
Nay Bother in PA.
Oh, Nay Bother. Wow, I don't know why that looked like King to me, but he comes out just behind Maverick here, though they are not fighting for position. It looks like Nay Bother's in 8th place, and Maverick, our leader, obviously, is a lap ahead at least. How many people do we have on track? Can you see the
14.
14 people on track, so it's a full lobby for us, which is fantastic. Just round 2 of the sprint series here, and I see already we got some heavy hitters in the room. Lucas, Jeffrey, Jorge, I know those names. Jorge being the current Split 1 champion of NRL, if you guys are familiar. Of course, some teams that we know as well. Maverick racing for NVR. Oh my gosh, what does NVR stand for? I know all of this stuff, but I think
New Velocity Racing. Sorry.
We'll have them as just NVR. I've just learned that it's New Velocity Racing. All right, NVR. I'll try to remember that. Hey viewers, I see McNaughty's just dropped everybody off in the chat. Hey guys, we appreciate you coming in. We're just kind of getting started here. Not everyone is out just yet. Let's see if we can get a view of everyone else on the track and see where they are. You can see, actually, yes, everyone is out. No one is still sitting in the pits. So, pretty close racing here to start the second stint. I can't see anyone on the map that looks like they may be racing closely. All of these arrows look to be single file. Yeah, so I think everyone just kind of lapping right now, which, I don't know, Laguna Seca is so fun. Mr. Casual, do you like this track?
Laguna is... Oh.
You're a little too hesitant for me, Mr. Maverick, or Mr. Casual, sorry. Say nice things.
Yeah, I was going to say Laguna is one of those tracks. It's your friend, and till you push it too much, sort of tracks. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And you know what? I realized my feed is showing me something different than what you viewers are seeing on the stream. So I apologize. I saw a little bit of action there coming into turn 9 by someone getting a little squirrely. But right now we're looking at Jeffrey making his way up the front straight towards turn 1 here. He sits in 7th place in that Audi R8. Man, what an amazing GT3 car. The Audi R8, the first iteration of the Audi R8 GT3 was the first GT3 car I ever saw in person. I think it had to be like 2011 or 12 or something like that. I was in California and I went to the 25 Hours of Thunder Hill, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is glorious.
Goodness.
Yeah. What I mean, this GT3 is a category that's given us some amazing cars and some amazing racing, and I'm glad that it stays strong. A lot of these cars are on there like second and third Evo, and of course some of them are just, you know, whole different generation from the street version, like the 911 here. We've had a couple generations of 911 GT3. You see Monkus LT making his way down through turn 9 and towards 10 and 11. Jorge Senior, George Senior, that's not the same as Jorge Senior?
It is.
It is. That is Jorge.
Yes.
Yes, sorry. He I'm looking at him with two different names here. But Jorge, of course, a very quick driver, as I named him. He is the current NRL champion in the top split, looking good in that Viper there. Another excellent car that we actually don't get to see on track enough anymore. Maybe
is Monkus the one that got disconnected in the first stint?
It is. Monkus came out 63 seconds behind pole. Based on the calculation, it's 2.24 second penalty per lap, but because Monkus was in the lead, that calculation came out to 67 seconds because it was 30 laps times 2.24, which is the length of the lap. But because he had a 4-second lead on P2, which was AMS S2K at NVR White, I was actually, instead of adding 4 seconds, I subtracted 4 seconds. So that puts him at 63 seconds behind lead. And yeah.
Okay. I was asking because I saw Super asking why is he in here racing.
Well, yep, them's the rules. So he falls behind. 30 laps missed is a lot. So he must have disconnected fairly early in the first stint, or well, I guess halfway through, just about. That's man, that's gotta hurt, especially being in the lead. Let's see. I think I am in sync as far as what I see versus what you, the viewer, see. That was awesome. So, yeah, George Senior making his way through. Monkus is actually closer than I thought. 1.198 is the gap, and it's actually closed up just a little bit there through turn 5. Easy to do in these turns, right? I think everyone takes these turns slightly differently. You see a lot of accordioning through, I would say, turns 4, 5, even 8, 9 here, or 7, 8 here, the corkscrew. Mr. Casual, you said that this is a fun track to push.
Oh yeah, it can be, but it will bite you in the backside if you're not careful. Case in point is the kink before the corkscrew and the corkscrew itself. Everywhere else is kind of more or less okay. You got some occasional oversized sausages on some of these turns that will literally send you to the moon. But yeah, it's a fun little track.
Right. It is a fun little track. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to make sure turn 3 knew we were talking smack about it. There it is right there. That big sausage curve we're talking about at turn 3. Jorge and Monkus avoiding it accordingly.
Because the kink has another sausage as well, if you cut it too much.
Yes, turn 6, right before the straight, the Ray Hall straight headed up. I think, yeah, we're coming up on it now.
Yep.
that is a particularly nasty one. You do want to cut that corner as much as possible so you can maximize your speed coming up this straight. But yeah, it's so easy to go too far, and we're looking at a pass into the corkscrew here. Monkus on the brakes on Jorge, though I believe he was let through. I saw the signal there for Jorge.
Yeah.
I think he knew, hey, we're not on the same pace, and so I'm gonna go ahead and let you by without a fight. And sure enough, he lets him go. That's not a blue flag pass, and it did happen in a blue flag zone, though I believe that Ray Hall Strait is a blue flag zone. But yeah, Jorge, just knowing, hey, I'm not gonna ruin your race. I'm not even gonna try to slow you down a little bit. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go because I'm on my own thing and you're on yours. Honestly, he's way more mature than I am. Mr. Casual, would you have let him go, or you maybe not fight, but I'm not gonna make it easy either.
It's dependent. If I know there's someone behind me faster, then I mean I'm not going to roll over, but I'm not going to like fight tooth and nail either. So it's really about situational awareness and doing the things that's in the best interest for the long-term play as opposed to in the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is, the real thinking racer's way to go about things, especially if you realize there's nothing to be gained. I'm more of a gambler because it's been a long time since I've been able to practice enough for races, especially endurance type races, to come up with a solid plan that doesn't change, right? Unless emergencies happen. And so I may come up with a cursory plan, especially if maybe not I've been able to hop on the night before. But because I'm not so well prepared, I am somewhat of a gambler. And so if someone is way faster than me, even if it's the leader and I'm solidly mid-pack, I have no pace, I'm going to try to back them up as much as I can. I'm not going to fight. Like you said, I'm not going to roll over either, because you just never know what could happen. That could make them back up into second place or whatever later on in the race. It could affect coming out of the pits. It could give your teammate who may be a little bit ahead of you in the order a bit of a chance. I'm gonna slow your pace down until you are able to pass me. That's just me. That's just
like someone get Tati a Snickers bar.
yeah. That's the other thing. I'm usually rushing into the race like from after work or something. So I actually am hungry and I do have an attitude. Do get me a Snickers bar. Hey, that's my teammate, Rusty Maggots. Hey, Rusty, also Stig's teammate, of course, and an awesome S7R livery. Dude, when I get my PlayStation back, I'm gonna go, search the S7R hashtag, because there are a lot of liveries I've missed out on that I need to steal. Yeah.
I like the little the little face in the back. You look at the rear quarter.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I need this one. I need Rusty's
It looks like
livery.
Gengar. Oh.
Yeah, I gotta rep the team when I get in these open lobbies. Gotta immediately put your S7R livery on so that people know what's up when you jump in. Ooh, is this a pass? I think that was just letting somebody by. That's a GTO Sinister in the amazing Mazda GT3. This might be my team. I'm supposed to be racing. It is my team. There's the livery. It's the S7R livery. You guys just can't see it. I can see it on my feed. Another one I've got to grab for this car and get myself out on track. But Sinister running in 14th there, just letting the car that was about to lap them pass through.
Okay.
Let's see, this is round 2 of 8. So, we're pretty early in the sprint series here, in the sprint championship here. So drivers and teams still battling it out to try to figure out where they're going to be towards the end of this thing. Mr. Casual, are there prizes for this championship? I can't even.
Maybe, because this is my first. Well, I started in round 1, but this is my first time helping out with the producing side and commentary side with IRO. So I'm pretty new to IRO in general.
I gotcha. No worries there. Star Shooter in the lead here. Had a little bit of a squirrely moment coming out of the corkscrew there, and a dip of the wheel here. So maybe needs to tighten up, because those are things that didn't affect him too much. But like you said, Laguna Seca can bite you in the butt. And little moments like that dip of the wheel, can very easily turn into a 90-degree snap to the right and into the wall.
Yeah, one of the benefits of still racing on the controller is like you can catch those things a bit easier
Oh,
because I'm on a controller still. But yeah, it can indeed be a Code Brown moment.
yes, and you are absolutely right. I think when I switched from controller to wheel, that was one of the biggest that was one of the steepest parts of the learning curve, I will say, was remembering, hey, you got to make more movement and be very fast with that movement in order to catch these snaps. Now, it's not just a flick of the thumb.
Because I imagine that's going to be my issue if I ever make the move to a wheel. It's like, man, I've only been doing like 3 laps. I'm already tired.
Right. I would recommend turning the force feed back down just a bit. Even when you feel like it's light enough for you on a quick test, go a couple notches lighter than that, because imagine, yeah, left, right, and then you're going to be doing it even more than you would normally, because you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna have spin outs, and you're gonna try to catch them. So yeah, save your arms those first couple of weeks, but you do get used to it. Yeah. So, do you want to switch to a wheel at some point, or are you comfortable where you're at?
If once I get in a better financial situation, I might. Because for the longest time, it was a matter of space and money, not having the room for like a proper setup. And now I have the actual uh, space. But now it's just a matter. I want to get my credit cards under like 1,000, like on what's owed, and maybe after that point, we'll see.
Listen, I'm always going to preach financial responsibility while also being the type of person who says treat yourself. But yeah, treat yourself after you've hit that goal. Looks like let me talk about PR1, or sorry, Tom Fear here real quick. The Project One team, rather, it's Project One rejects. Looking at the results lately, we've got P1R Siegel, who's got a 98.67 digit score. So basically an A+ driver here in the daily races. Here is what that means. DR is the actual what's the word I'm looking for? Stat that comes from the game of Gran Turismo. What's the DR cap again? I don't know if it's moved or what.
I think they moved it to like 150.
Oh wow, 150. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So
nobody in Gran Turismo is even close to that. I think there's like a couple guys that are like at 125,000, but no.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like even if you get anywhere above 100K, you have one bad race where you're expected to win and you finish say like 6th, you're probably losing about 5,000 DR, as opposed to gaining maybe 100 or 500 DR.
That is, yeah, it's gotten a lot harder. Oh no, is that okay? I thought that was a disconnect for a second there. Just the camera getting stuck looking at the wall for a moment. We still have Star Shooter with us. Now, the digit score, for people who are not so familiar with, maybe just Gran Turismo community stuff, tangentially related stuff, not official Gran Turismo stats and info. Digit obviously is a very popular racer in the game and a popular streamer, and he has kind of like a racing school vibe. But I'm not that familiar with his scoring system. I'm guessing that's out of 100. They were average 91 or 92. Who knows the answer to that? Because it's not me.
Yeah, because I know of the website, but I've never used it myself, so I've never even registered my name on there.
I may be registered, but I don't think I've actually looked at my score or something. I think I tried, but something was wrong. It was still kind of in the infancy, maybe like a couple of years ago, and I just never tried again. I'm sure he's got it more down pat there. Not that it matters. I don't do daily races. That could be the other thing. Maybe I just don't have enough data, because it's been since Gran Turismo Sport since I took those seriously. I am an AS driver though. I mean, I still have my rating.
Yeah. If the right combo comes up, I can probably get back into A plus, because I'm like about 3/4 A plus. Sorry, A. So it's like, if the right combo suits me, I probably could get back into it.
Nice, way to go. I mean, listen, that makes you quick. That makes you quick. We just saw a nice and neat blue flag pass there. Jeffrey letting Tom Fear 66 by. It's Tom Fear just ahead of him in the P1R car, and Mr. Jeffrey in the Audi R8 there. And that is one of the rules. If you are new to this championship here, there are 4 zones on this track, I believe 3 or 4, that have been designated
Let's see.
by the organizational team as spots where it is deemed safe for a driver who's being lapped to allow the lapping driver to pass them. And what that creates is a bit more of a clear spot where it's you're expected as a driver who's being lapped to move over. Sometimes drivers struggle to know where is it safe to allow this person to pass. It can be hard in this game, just depending on your setup. If you just have a controller, more basic wheel, you're very limited by how many buttons you have. It can be difficult to just activate a signal and let somebody know they can pass. So if there is a passing zone, they can assume that you will let them pass at that moment, and you don't necessarily have to, uh, make a guess as to where to let them by and be safe about it. This is such a passing zone here, but we will not see a blue flag pass here because obviously Star Shooter really wants to keep Tom Fear behind him. Star Shooter in first place. Tom Fear, though, is catching, and quickly. It's about half a second is the gap here, and I wonder if we'll see something Jorge-esque where he just lets him by easily, or if we're going to see a bit more of a scuffle, because we're more than
Yeah.
halfway through this race, right?
Yeah, I imagine they're probably going to duke it out, because this is indeed for the lead of the race. So I can imagine even the most humble race leader would still not give it up too easily unless he has a plan in mind. But yeah, from Star Shooter, aka NVR Maverick, and Tom. Yeah, I think they're probably going to be at it unless someone makes a mistake.
Yeah, like that right there. We almost saw a mistake from Star Shooter there, but I don't know that he'll be able to hold Tom off too long just based on the pace, though he did go defensive into turn 1 there, the Andretti hairpin. We'll see where he is here. Oh, and he lets Tom get a nose in at turn 4. Was that on purpose, or was that just an oversight there on his part? I'm not sure. But easy peasy for Tom there, and he's gonna drive away into the sunset against Star Shooter if that pace keeps up.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the Star Shooters in the Porsche, so that's the thing that the Porsche has over the Ferrari, is it has good acceleration, whereas the 296 has a bit more top end.
So this part of the track here, this long front straight that they are on right now, rather, is where the Ferrari seems to shine. And indeed, you did see him pull away just a little bit there, even though Star Shooter was right in his slipstream, but he was able to pull off just a little bit. But Star Shooter should do pretty well here in the acceleration zones out of these corners. But these aren't slow corners. There aren't really any slow corners on this track. Not even the corkscrew is one that I would consider slow. Maybe just turn
Like
11.
the final turn.
Yeah, just turn 11 there that we just saw Felix go through is the only slow corner. I love this track so much. I just really love old school natural terrain tracks, and so I find American tracks to be some of my favorites in the world. If only because, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your viewpoint, so many tracks around like Europe and Asia have been,
But
changed and resurfaced and whatever to be safer for Formula One style racing,
then,
Formula cars.
and then we got a little spotter guide, as those of you on the stream can see. You got many different teams, like we've talked about P1R. Then you got MMR. Then you obviously have Race Asylum. They're going to be in there always. And, of course, Tati's own team, S7R's, got their runners. So it's like you have a good mix of teams in Split 1. So it's not just one team or another. It's like, it's a pretty good mix of some well-known established teams.
If you guys don't mind, do you mind if I run from the top and name the teams? I know it could be a little confusing because we don't have the liveries, but I feel like it'd be helpful for our audience.
Please have at it.
Yes.
All right, so on top we got P1R, currently driven by Tom Fear, also known as Antivist. Then Star Shooter, aka Maverick, with New Velocity Racing Team White. After that is Tavernello Racing. Looks like he's getting a blue flag pass there, done cleanly. That's great. He is one of our 4 Italian teams, all repping from a common team, Bez, so VEZ. Following them is Munkus, who's making his charge back to the front. Looks like he has turned a 63-second gap to a 37-second gap, so good on him. Munkus drives. This is a cool thing for S7R, but S7R has a good number of Lithuanian drivers. Munkus, Ricardis, Temasius, Kilmasision, and Ricardis all representing S7R here from Lithuania, so good to have a little bit of national pride there on this team. Following them is MMR Moose Mafia Racing, currently piloted by Jorge Senior as well. He's one of MMR's newer drivers, transitioning from PHG to MMR. Following them is RA Grid Life. Their livery is usually orange, but unfortunately it's the base livery. Piloted by ERA Lucas, I'm sorry. Inkyo Strike is Vez Team Lime. Hold on, let me just double check that, because there's Team Lime and there's Team Cyan, and I always get them backwards. I'm sorry. I take that back. It's Team Cyan. The only way that I know the difference between the liveries is the ground effects. You know, the red stripe that they have down here on the base livery, that it's usually lime or cyan. So it's supposed to be cyan in the team livery, but they didn't load. Following that,
I believe they're named Vez Racing's Team White on the spotter guide. So we gotta figure out what it is. Team Cyan or Team White.
After race 1, they decided to change the team name, so yeah, we'll fix that. A little oversight, but yes, they were Team White, and now Team Lime, or Cyan, and here we go. The next one is Jeffrey, handed off from Shred on Stint 1, who had a pretty good stint. I think Jeffrey had a tough beginning of this race, lost a few positions. Currently rocking damage, I think. And he's with NBR Team Gold. Or Team Black. My apologies. Team Black. And then RA, this is Team Biscuits. RA Team Biscuits. Because they're mostly from across the pond. And their counterparts, RA Team Cookies, is the Split 2 team with mostly American drivers. So you can see where the names are derived.
Cookies and Biscuits.
Cookies
RA,
and Biscuits.
Race Asylum. Love it.
And then obviously Sector 7 Racing, Turn 1 winners, piloted by Rusty Maggots, handed off from the Truth Serum. Big J30 making his debut for S7R Team Airways. Big J. Libe, Team Firestarter, one of the few liveries that we were able to load. He's also one of our 4 Italian team representatives. Looks like Big J's coming in to repair some damage, unfortunately. And then Team Phoenix, piloted by S7R or GTO Sinister, who's a friend of the team. Handed off from Pods Vogs PDX Vogs 55, another friend of the team. So, and then Lazy of VIP Racing to finalize our grid. Looks kind of like the base livery, but it is actually their livery. So that is the grid. So
that's
I'll let
the
you.
new 911 race car we have, right?
It is, yes. The not the RSR, but the the Evo GT3.
Got it. Nice. Thank you so much for going through the teams for us. That's it's good to get to know them, guys. We have 6 more rounds of racing after this one. You might as well start picking your favorites and recognizing their liveries, so you can pick up the spotter guide. I believe if you're in the IRO Discord, it was just put in the general chat. And Stig, is there another place that viewers can find that spotter guide?
Yeah, that's the only place that I currently have it living, other than our shared drive. So, if
Cool.
there's any other good places to post it,
Yeah, we
there's
can start putting in a link
PhD and
to them. But
McNaughty as well. I think that would be good.
yeah,
There's-
give me 1 second though. Here we got a battle going on track. A battle for third place. We got
third.
Munkus and Felix going at it through the first few turns of this lap, and they're still going at it. Munkus not giving in. He's got the inside for turn 4 here. He will get ahead of Felix. Felix shows a nose to see if maybe he can make something happen in the next turn, but turn 5 is not a great passing spot just because it's such a narrow line through there between, you know, death and greatness. He's not quite close enough to take a dive into the corkscrew. Munkus doesn't even bother going well, maybe a little bit defensive there. I think the camera showed it a little bit differently, but Munkus prevails and gets a huge gap over Felix coming out of the corkscrew. Felix obviously on a more compromised line there, just trying to make something happen. Munkus ekes it out though and is giving himself a little bit of breathing space here, almost 2 seconds to Felix as they come to close the lap and start the next one. That was a good little sequence there, Mr. Casual, like almost the whole lap.
Yeah, I tend to keep my eye out on the track map, and I was like, "Oh, I see 2 triangles nearby. Let's see who they are." I was like, "Oh, so you 2 are the ones trying to be a little spicy."
Hey, I appreciate it because Stig and I were, of course, having a good time talking about spotters guides and and liveries. But yeah, Stig, hey, make a note. Let's start putting a link to that spotters guide in the YouTube chat because I want people to know who these folks are and who they're watching as they watch these races go by. Wow, that gap has gotten so much bigger. But they are kind of just fighting each other. 2.5 seconds. They got almost 10 seconds to the car behind, almost 30 seconds to Star Shooter in second place there. So this battle for the last podium spot is kind of it in this moment.
Yeah, they're on different compounds, I do see.
Yeah,
looked at there.
Is on one. Are we allowed to say who's on what? I don't see Felix's tires, so I don't know what compound he's on, but I figured he must be on something a little bit different.
Uh-oh.
See.
Okay, I had a little lag spike there.
Felix is also a heavier car. He's got just under 3/4 of a tank on his car.
Yep. Munkus has a little less fuel, more worn tires, but is on a softer tire compound there. So that kind of explains the speed differentiation and his ability to stick with Felix during that attack and ultimately run away. Ooh, did Felix just have a moment in the dirt there? I thought I saw a lot of wheel dipped in it, and maybe not. Maybe not. He hasn't lost too much time, but I thought I saw a lot of dust kicked up there.
We're getting intermittent lag spikes, and when the car is, I guess when there's an intermittent disconnection, the car just drives straight, so sometimes it'll kick up dust, and things happen.
Yeah, that does seem to be what's happening here. Just a lot of just waiting on the game to kind of catch up and tell us where drivers are. Not a lot. It's actually pretty minor, which is good. So it's all we can ask, guys. We run this thing on the internet, and you know, the internet giveth and taketh. This is Jorge. Who's that ahead? Not this
Yeah.
blue flag passes here. That's Sinister gonna go ahead and let him pass there in turn 9, and then it'll come up to Lazy, and Lazy will do the same, likely on the front straight here as they approach the last turn. Though Jorge's not quite that close. That Viper has very long legs though, and he's got a long straight to catch up to Lazy and hopefully make that pass before turn 2 or turn 1 rather. Such a good looking car. I do miss it. Did you ever get a chance to see the GTE version that raced in shoot, I guess back then it was ALMS, the American Le Mans series, before it was IMSA again?
I don't think so.
Is it when the Ford GT had just made its debut? Or shortly before that?
It was before that, because I think the Ford GT debuted, and ALMS had already switched over and merged with Grand Am to form the current IMSA championship that we know. But there were a season or maybe 2 seasons where you had the Viper SRT, Team SRT came on and built a GTE car, which in Europe is called GTLM. Built a Viper out of that and came, and they were solid, and eventually they did win the IMSA championship, so good for them. But it was a great looking car in a fantastic era of racing, to be honest. The GTLM is still one of my favorites, and I mourn its ending, to be honest with you.
Melissa MMR Jorge is in 5th currently.
Looks like he's on
Unless
a charge
you're talking
for
about
P4
the standings.
as well.
Tom is in 1st place, right? Tom Fears is still in the lead actually, so not 5th place.
But yeah, someone who has raced against the Viper is so damn annoying if you're in a car that doesn't have good acceleration and you got that car behind you. It's like, damn it.
Oh yeah, it used to be one of my favorites. When GT Sport dropped, I exclusively drove the Viper for maybe the first few months of playing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think, you know, right now it's pretty favorable in the BOP of the game, which is why it's kind of had a resurgence. But for years, you know, the Viper just kind of languished. It was in the roster of cars you could have, but nobody drove it almost, which was a shame. But recently, it's had a resurgence because I think we've had a lot of daily races where it was dominant. You know, like the Daytonas, stuff where it really gets to use all of that torque and all that top end. And I'm glad to see it back on track for in several people's hands.
Yeah, because like when I first started participating in the official GT World Series, I started doing started out with McLaren, and I stuck with it. But I would have races where I'll have a McLaren or a Porsche behind me, and it's like, and they overtake my slow McLaren before T1. I was like, I guess I gotta make the change.
The McLaren is such a good car to drive, though. But yeah, she's got no top end, but does great on tracks that don't have long straights. You know, you just got to know what to drive. I think that's the beauty of being able to sim in real life. You don't get those options, right? The car your team has is the car your team has, and you know, you're gonna have strengths and weaknesses on different tracks as your championship goes by.
Because curiously, that's one thing I hear about iRacing is like some people who do iRacing wish they would have like a season of like, okay, you pick this car, you can only do that car. Whereas on iRacing, you can pick whatever car from race to race. But yeah, I've heard from some people who do iRacing that they kind of limit that iRacing doesn't lock you down to a car for a specific championship.
Got it. Yeah, I could see that for championships. You know, and obviously this is one such. You know, the private championships, teams here can't switch cars. The car you have is the car you have. I think there are certain exceptions, like if a new version of the car you have comes out, then you're allowed to switch. But otherwise, teams are locked into their cars, which is more true to life. But you know, for casual stuff, we can just pick a car that suits the track. You're just running open lobbies, and you know, as they switch tracks, you can switch cars, and it's awesome to get a feel for what works where, and you really learn that aspect of racing, which is you know, more of an engineering performance type of knowledge.
But yeah,
I love the sport.
I do have, I will say, obviously my first love is McLaren, but I did develop a love for Lexus as well.
I've only been able to drive the Lexus in one championship, maybe two. Just my memory's a little bit foggy.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It's a solid car. It's been around for a long time, and it's never lost its popularity either. Actually, as the game has aged and progressed, there's another car that we've had since Gran Turismo Sport, which dropped in 2017. So we're looking at almost 10 years of this Lexus unchanged. However, of course, we have a new, you know, I think a new Lexus racing car coming out, IRL, if I'm not mistaken, and will probably make its way into the game just due to.
There should be a new Toyota as well, because you know Toyota's theirs.
The new Toyota too. So I'm guessing we're gonna get those in this game, given Gran Turismo's partnership with Toyota. We haven't always been able to get the latest racing cars.
Because I think I heard they weren't going to run the Toyota this year, the new one. But I think I heard like maybe next year there might be a chance it will start some competitive racing. As we see, Tom is in the pits, refueling.
6 liters of fuel in that car, so we'll definitely need to refuel. Currently in the pits on the racing softs. We'll see what he comes out on. Yep, that fuel going in now, so he's made it into his pit box. It's a long pit around here. You do, when racing at Laguna Seca, you do want to consider the length of a pit stop around here, and you want to minimize it as much as possible. There's nothing you can do about the length of pit lane. There's nothing you can do about the pit lane speed limiter. So all you can really do is save fuel and hope that your refueling doesn't take that long. It is something that always comes into play at Laguna Seca.
Oh, okay.
And he's out. He comes out ahead. Oh, crucially ahead of the two cars behind him now, who are back markers, so they would eventually have to let him by, but he'd have to wait until they hit those zones where he could be let by, like right here. Instead, he gets to be a couple of seconds ahead of them already and get out. Clean air is what you want when you've just pitted, right? You want to warm those tires up and get some clean laps under your belt. Yeah, Mr. Casual?
Oh, yes. For certain, yeah, because the game is, even though there are other cars on track, it's kind of like a competitive time trial in a sense. So it's like you want to try and minimize your loss. So if you can come out in front of cars that are however many laps down, then that's ideal. It's like, it's unfortunate if you're behind them, but that's the nature of motorsport racing. It's like nothing is never ideal. You just make the best of what you're given and deal with it.
That's right. That's right. You want to be there to take advantage when you can. Actually, I think that is one slight disadvantage we have in this game, is that you can't really have an engineer in your ear who has all of the information. There's just not enough slots in the lobby to allow every driver to also have somebody else in the lobby who can see, you know, other drivers' times and maybe actually make an accurate calculation on, hey, if you pit now and take this much fuel, you'll come out ahead of these cars. So Tom doing that was really kind of just you just take the luck that you get, because he has no way to really confirm that he'll get out ahead of traffic. So he could have just as easily ended up coming out behind him, and it's just something that you have to deal with. Yeah.
But
sorry.
Yeah. Because that's something that the game LMU has put in recently, the ability to have an engineer, like you was lamenting that GT doesn't, from lack of spots. Because they do allow you to have an engineer for like the endurance races if you so choose.
Yeah, which is great. It's just even more immersive, right? And for those of us who do league racing, kind of do it on that level at some point, right? Some leagues are very very casual.
Hmm.
I've raced in quite a few casual leagues, and you've got leagues of people who aren't what you would consider fast, right? Maybe they're B drivers in the daily
Yeah.
race realm, or B or C, and so those leagues don't bother with such things. But certainly at this level and a lot of the leagues around, that we hang out with, you're going to have people whose specialty on the team is not necessarily being at the race or even being available for it, but they are data monsters. They will lap all week long and tell you, hey, this tire will give you this many laps at this time of day. This is what you should do for fuel, etc. And those are the people you really want in your ear in the middle of the race. And every now and then you get a chance to get their expertise in race. It'd be nice to be able to have them have all the data, though. Truly. One day, perhaps PS6. I don't know. Shout out to Polyphony Digital and Sony, of course, trying to make the game remain accessible to folks who, maybe have to stick to a PS4 for budget reasons. It's totally real. And so they're still able to play with us. Hold on, let me stop this right now because it looks like Ink, we'll just call him Ink. Ink's looking to unlap themselves here. They're on Star Shooter and they have got pace over Star Shooter, which I'm not surprised because I think last time we were looking at Star, uh,
Hmm.
their softs weren't looking that great, and I don't know that they've pitted yet. No, I don't think we've seen them pit. So let's see. Can
Okay.
Ink get a better exit out of here and maybe have a chance in a turn one? And will they take it? There's all, you don't want to cause an accident when you're delapping yourself or unlapping. I don't think you'll have an opportunity here, but definitely following in Star Shooter's footsteps very closely. And they may never try to unlap themselves, right? Mr. Casual may just be content to save fuel back there.
Yeah. Plus, it's always a tricky situation with unlapping yourself. It's
Yes.
like if you're only, I would say, just as quick as, in this case, the leader, then maybe you just stick behind and uh, maybe try to save fuel here and there, take advantage of the slip. So it's like, unless you have an outright pace advantage, you're probably better off staying in the tow.
That's correct. Yeah, if you yeah, if it's more to your advantage or you feel like that advantage is going to last that long. But I mean, Ink's been showing good pace for a while now. I
Hmm.
do think that he's actively being slowed down. The IRO rule book, unlapping oneself, says that unlapping must happen in blue flag zones. So another just safety element there. You can't just dive into whatever corner you want. It does have to happen on one of the straights, which is interesting there. So the car ahead would need to let you by, if I'm reading that correctly, meaning Star Shooter in one of these blue flag zones, like here and in the Ray Hall straight that we saw just half a lap ago, would need to let Inkio by if it seemed clear that Ink wants to pass. And then Ink needs to be able to pull out at least a 1 second gap over Star Shooter over the next 3 laps. If in 3 laps he's not able to run away by more than 1 second, he does have to. Ooh, it's getting cheeky there. He does have to give the position back, and he's going to go ahead and
Hmm.
take that position now. Go ahead and unlap himself here, as we see in front of us. I think, was that a zone where he could do that? Blue flag, yeah, after turn 4 and into turn 5 is such a zone, and he kind of made that pass in the braking zone of turn 5. But I think maybe that was kind of like, hey, I'm gonna have to elbow in my way past here, because Star Shooter didn't seem to realize that he needs to let him by.
Also, as a quick aside, I see we're past the halfway point.
We are 35 of 66 laps. So what do we start seeing now, Mr. Casual? You think we'll start seeing people be a little less cooperative with one another?
Because I think that was part of the reason why Inkyo was trying to get past our leader, because he has Jorge just around 5 seconds up the road, so I'm sure he's wanting to try to catch up to him. But
Oh, 100%. That's
yeah.
not enough of a gap when Jorge's behind you. You really want Jorge 2 laps behind you in general. And 5 seconds isn't going to do it. So yes, I could see him being desperate to put a fast car between himself and Jorge, even if that leader isn't showing the pace that he needs. It will
See,
hopefully slow Jorge down. Sorry, you
now
were.
see, Monkus is in now.
Yeah, Monkus is in refueling. Oh, sorry, just
Okay.
reading on the chat here, seeing if somebody had something to say to us. We are looking at Jorge now actually making his way through the corkscrew, and like you said, not too far down from what was that? Kind of missed that action there. I'm not sure if
So
okay.
that's Sinister. Let's see.
Yeah.
When Monkus came out, he has both Sinister and Lazy ahead of him. So,
And you know what? The same two who were just behind, I think it was Tom Fear when he came out of the pits. So Tom, luckily, came out ahead of these two. Monkus, unfortunately, stuck behind. Will he be able to get one here in the straight? This is a blue flag zone. He's flashing the lights to be let by. However, I don't think he was close enough to demand it, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
I think he's going to have to wait until this next zone here. There's Lazy now letting him by. I think that was the more proper spot. Lazy, who is in a battle, would have had to lift so much to let him pass before the corkscrew there. I think he did the right thing, keeping to it. And then Sinister will hopefully also have to slow down and bring Lazy back into it. Otherwise, he's kind of lost out having to let Monkus pass where he did.
Indeed. See, Rusty's our next runner that's in the pits now.
Yes, Rusty Maggot's on the mediums. Probably come out on the softs. You've seen people run the softs for this, and he's more than halfway through the race, so I don't see why he wouldn't swap over to the softs. Do you know if there's a required compound? I didn't read anything like that.
I believe both soft and mediums are required, I think.
Okay. Got it. I must have missed it when I was reading the regulations. So soft and medium are required. That means that he will be switching to the soft. It's not a choice. It's a necessity here. So one stop race makes sense for a sprint race.
Yep. There, for those of you watching, got the graphic that shows you. You do indeed got the mediums and soft. And if, for anyone that didn't know, you do have heavy damage. So if you get damage, I was like, you're not getting that fixed unless you go into the pits. So it's like you kind of really need to be careful about actually sending it on whoever is ahead of you. Because if you clatter into them, you could get a penalty for that post-race possibly.
Yep. So got to be careful here, and that's Lazy. We're talking to you and Sinister. We have a pretty hot battle for not last going on here. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't call it a battle yet. I haven't seen any moves from Lazy. It's been mostly just following in Sinister's footsteps from every time we've seen them on track lately. But surely we're getting to a point where Lazy's gonna want to make a move here. I mean, they've certainly, almost certainly rather, been saving fuel back there. I believe these two might both owe a pit stop. Lazy's tires are way better than Sinister, so maybe he has taken fuel. Oh no, he's taken fuel at some point. Both of them are pitted.
Yeah, considering we're on lap 37 and looking at Lazy tires, he probably may have pitted not too long ago. Possibly.
I think so too. And he's got better tire wear than Sinister. Star Shooter, by the way, our previous leader, into the pits now. Just fueled up. They've switched onto the soft tire, and now they'll come out on track to chase Felix, who I believe might still need to pit. There's Star Shooter coming out now. There's Felix just ahead in the frame. So Star Shooter, fresh softs, half a tank of fuel, just under half a tank. And Felix what's Felix looking like? I want to see if
Let's
Felix
see.
needs to pit or not. Felix.
He has
and
Felix. He's on
Felix
some.
has the fuel, the tires, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just under half a tank.
There's Ink into the pits now, which is going to give Jorge 6th place, while Ink comes in to take those medium shoes off, get some fuel, and jump onto the softs. Ink, who we saw trying desperately to unlap himself, might have to go through the same battle again, depending on where he comes out of the pits. There, if he comes out behind Star Shooter, we know Star's not going to make it easy for him to pass, even if he's got the pace. So Felix, current leader, racing mediums, only a 5-second gap with over 20 laps to go, and Star Shooters on very fresh softs. I think we kind of know how this is gonna go. Yeah, Mr. Casual.
Yeah. Cause what you on? We're on the latter half of this race, so it's like should be in the catbird seat. I think is the term.
I've never heard that term. What does that mean? The catbird seat?
Yeah, basically like in a good position. Where you're at.
Love that. Yeah, Star Shooter in a fantastic position, because I think Tom Fear is many seconds behind. Though that, the thing about these types of racing and races and these types of racers is that oftentimes at the end of the race you see the strategies converge and you end up with some fierce battles.
Someone died at the kink.
Oh, I missed it. Jeffrey's into the pits, but maybe we can.
It was Tom.
It's Tom Fear, and I think he lost the position. Yeah, he lost the position to Monkus. He's down by 8 seconds and counting. Luckily, comes out ahead of Lazy and Sinister, who are still running together. But he's going to maybe gain some positions here, as Felix has just pitted, and again, it's a long pit lane. Tom will probably just be ahead of him, depending on how much fuel Felix needs. Actually, I don't think Felix needs any fuel. I think he just needs to change tires. So Tom might not come out ahead of him, because the tire change is a lot shorter than having to refuel.
Yeah.
So we'll see where they come out together. Tom inherits third as he crosses the line. That may change. We don't see Felix just yet. I don't see him in pit out here. So actually, okay, Tom's got it. Felix does have the softs on now. I'm very surprised that it's taken this long, but he's come out of the pits now. It's such a long pit lane around here. I really thought he had a chance to keep third.
Yeah, so it didn't completely bite Tom in the rear, but yeah, I'm sure he would have rather have not done that little donut after the kink.
Oh, of course, because he would be closer to Monkus and Star Shooter for sure. Monkus now in second place here, but I think it was Star Shooter who was in second.
Yeah, Monkus is in no man's land. He's got a 10-second gap to both P1 and P3, so he's out on his own.
He is on his own for now. That doesn't mean that he can just chill, though. There's plenty of time to either close a 10-second gap to Star Shooter ahead, or to be ran down by Tom behind. So he better not take a break just because he's got 10 seconds on either end. Looking at ERA's Lucas, who's just come out of the pits here, and in that Lexus, making his way. He's also in no man's land, headed towards that turn 5 crazy kink that we talked about. I don't think we've seen anybody die there. That sausage curb hasn't gobbled anybody up, Mr. Casual.
Yeah, because if you cut it perfectly, you can gain a lot of time, but it's like how many times are you going to be able to cut it just perfect? So I think, understandably so, a lot of people just take the safe way.
That's right. Yeah. Which is the better way, I would say, especially with cars like these. The GT3s are pretty low to the ground. They have flat bottoms, and there's not much suspension travel. So look at how low this Lexus sits as we with this camera angle. Now imagine that thing trying to climb over a 5-6 inch tall sausage curb just right, you know, it's gonna skip across the bottom of it for the most likely, which of course is
Yeah.
just going to send the car. But you know, like you said, if you cut it just right, it's going to skip across the bottom. It's going to send the car, but it'll only send it as far as, you know, you need it to. It won't send it all the way off into the sand on the right, and it does help you out, but can you do it consistently? We're going to watch him come up to that corner here. A little bit of a wiggle out of turn 4. He gathers it back up, but boom, doesn't cut it. But look at the runoff. It's very short. It's a very tight margin if you're going to play around with letting that sausage really toss that car to the outside of the turn.
I was going to say, and not to mention that while some cars may have a similar handling model, it's like they all have their own characteristics in how they handle curves, because you will find some cars do not like the curves whatsoever, and then you got other cars that can literally mount an entire sausage curve and be fine.
The Corvette gobbles curbs up, and if you're familiar with like oh my gosh, Seaside, is it what is that racetrack we love so much? It's
Dragon Trail.
Dragon Trail, yes, the main Dragon Trail. If you're familiar with the chicane of death, the Corvette can absolutely pummel those curbs, especially the ones on the very last right-hander there. You can cut that so much with the Vet. Try the same thing in the Porsche, and that back end is going to get incredibly loose on you in what should be a massive acceleration zone. You are, you know, trying your best to hold on to the car and unable to get on the gas for a second, whereas the Corvette just acts like nothing was even there. Got a chat asking if we can look at the gap between P1 and 2, and maybe we can. Mr. Casual, what were you about to say?
So Monkus is currently just over 7 seconds behind the leader, and Tom's behind him by like 14 seconds.
Yeah, that huge spin right here actually is where we saw Tom lose all that time, because I think he was right there with second place for a little bit, and ended up back behind third by like 7-8 seconds, and only took it back because Felix pitted. So I do think 14 to 15, maybe even more seconds were lost by Tom having that huge spin where he did.
Yeah, because Monk has cut the gap a little bit, because initially it was 10 seconds, because I mentioned that earlier, and got it down to now just under 7 seconds. So, wow. Little by little. So,
we might see these two come together. We have pretty much exactly 20 laps left, 19 and a half, whatever you want to call it. Tom still got up there. Of course, Monkus, like you said, working on getting first place if possible. So shout out to S7R here, fighting for the front. Love to see it. And I hope it becomes a 3, maybe even 4-way battle. It would be nice. Also, never count Jorge out, 5th place.
Yeah, and our top 2 are in the same car, I believe. Let's see. Star Shooter. Yes. Yeah. Same car. So just be a matter of attrition between the two of them.
Both in the Porsche. You know, I'm going to miss the RSR. What a glorious exhaust in that car. I think so. The RSR is not a GT3.
No.
Porsche 911 RSR was a GTLM GTE car, you know, harkening back to that class that I said I love so much. And so that car did have mufflers, and then I think some regulation changed or something, and Porsche was like, forget it, straight pipe it. And it became one of the absolute best sounding race cars we've ever gotten in the GT category. And for years and years, we got to hear it screaming on tracks, and then Gran Turismo extended that for us by holding on to that model for so long and giving it to us as a GR3 car in the game. I love it.
Fun fact, if you're ever wondering if any of the race cars are real race cars, just look at its name. If it doesn't have a year number in its name, then it's not a real car. It's a VGT car.
That is correct. Technically, yes, because while the 911 RSR was a real GTE GTLM, it is detuned to fit into the quote-unquote GR3 or GT3 category in this game, as is the Corvette. The Corvette that we have is also the Corvette GTLM, not the Corvette GT3. What other cars are like that? I'm trying to think in this moment. I think
The Ford
maybe
race
the
car, right? The Ford GT
Oh,
race
right, the
car.
Ford GT race car. That was a GTLM car. That's right. It was GTE that was ported over. So we did get the class in game, which I'm grateful for because we got some of the cars out of that class. But technically, they're all GT3s in the Gran Turismo franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I, for one, am very excited to see those cars back on track at some vintage racing events, maybe this spring, summer. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss the Midi. That's Atlanta's big vintage racing event. And fun fact, I miss it every year. There's always something. I'm either out of town or this time it's I'll be doing commentary for NRL on Saturday, which is pretty much the best day to go. I've been on Sunday before, but you got half the cars gone because everyone's packed up and they're heading home, and you just got a few categories that still have races on Sunday. But I love going to vintage racing events. You get to see old race cars, and you get to see race cars that aren't that old but are just retired, like the GTLM class cars.
And since you briefly talked about NRL, I'll quickly say I was bored last night, so I did some practice with PhD Papa last night for NRL. I was just
Nice.
bored, and I knew I got this today, so I was taking it easy. I think I was running, if you count low fuel, like a mid 24. But on like qualifying sort of levels of fuel, I was like, I probably could get down to a mid 25 if I hooked it up.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. For those of you who aren't familiar with NRL, that is another league that a lot of us here participate in. You can find more information at McNaughty, that is spelled exactly the way you think it is, .gg. That's McNaughty .golf. And you can learn more about what the next races are and that sort of thing. I believe so. Papa would be in race B. So you said you were running
Yes,
mid
he's
24s. That
yeah.
What race was that? It's not Laguna Seca.
Is the one of the Kyoto layouts.
Okay, right.
Well,
It's
whatever it's
Kyoto
called.
backwards is what it is. And what was just happening there? I see Jorge and Felix having a thing, or not? Sorry, Tom Fears and Felix having a thing. That is a battle. That is a battle for third place. I had no idea Tom was going to catch up to Felix that quickly here. I see it on the
Ooh,
main
yeah.
feed. I don't have it on my screen though. So if somebody could get me to that battle, please, so that I'm on time with it, that'd be great.
Let's see.
There we
I
go.
There we go.
just make sure you're watching the broadcast versus Mr. Casual's.
Yeah, because I was going to look at Nay Bother, because Royal Abbott was asking, but yeah, see this battle happening between Tom and Felix.
It was
I
actually
hear you. I hear you. My problem is the broadcast is behind me. So if I say something about what I see on the broadcast, I'm saying it several seconds after it actually happened.
I think there's about a 15-second delay, unfortunately.
Got it. Okay. I'm still gonna stick to Mr.
Since-
Casuals so that I'm on time with it. I do understand sometimes it's
a
gotta
bit of a gap. Real quickly, Wabbit, the Delta is 23 seconds to Jeffrey in front of Nate and 6 seconds to Rusty behind him.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, we've kind of missed most of this battle here. Thanks for getting back to it, but I do think that I think Felix is safe for now. I wonder if something happened. I don't see any reason why Tom should have caught up to him that quickly, so I do wonder if maybe something
Let's
happened
see.
to Felix.
Tom slap was a 22-1, and I mean Felix, and Tom slap was a 23-6.
So how in the
it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Felix passed Tom.
Yes. So Felix
Okay.
was about a second in pace there over Tom, which is huge, obviously. And he's already eked out over a second gap here. So Felix is gonna get out of the way, keep that podium position there, or at least try to secure it. Of course, he's not safe yet. Tom is still behind by not that much, and could
Yeah.
just be saving those tires for a later move, as we still have a decent chunk of racing left, about 15 laps.
We'll say they're on different compounds, Felix and Tom.
Yes. Yes, they are, which is why I think that may come into play a little bit later on, and why I would say Tom will not even bother to fight and burn those tires up, because they will come into play for him later on in this race. Perhaps third position will come back to him. That's all I'm gonna say there. Laguna Seca, high tire wear track though. I mean, both in the game and real life. It's pretty slippery out here. If you've never been, all that brown you see is real life sand, baby. That is basically just a light powder, which is why you see dust kicked up so easily when these cars drive by. In real life, straight up, that is sand, and it gets kicked across the track all the time, which makes the track pretty slippery. And some drivers love it, some drivers don't. As you can see, it is one of those things that makes
Oh,
this we have a battle for P1 going here. Monkus and Sharpshooter. Monkus has caught up. Those two Porsches are going to go at it for a little bit of time here. I think Monkus looks aggressive. I think Monkus does want to make a pass. I don't think he's going to just hang out.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, because they're on different compounds, but yeah, looks like he's been able to catch up to our leader. Our leader last lap 22.3, whereas Monkus was a 21.6. So
yeah, and if Monkus knows, and he probably will have an idea, because you're always paying attention to where the people you're racing pit. He probably knows he's got a tire advantage, or maybe figures it. So, I think that's just lag. I think that's just a little bit of lag. So he may know that he doesn't have to try too hard. Ooh, that is I think Oliva just letting them pass there, but probably chose a really slow way to do it. But they're okay.
Yeah.
He may know he doesn't have to fight too hard. That Star Shooter will come to him. Yeah, I mean that right there will be a hint to him that, hey, I just almost ended up in the back of this guy's car. He is braking way earlier than I am. That is another indicator that this person's tires are more worn out. He'll see the clues. He'll see the hints.
Because we're on.
Probably just, we gave it away if you're not listening.
Because we're on lap 53, and looking at their tire wears, and obviously they're on the different compounds. This might be, if he plays long game, this might be Monk's position in the game. Because, granted, it's not the biggest tire wear multiplier, but that's still going to be 13 laps of additional wear by the end on softs, whereas that will be less on Monkus mediums.
That is right. And so, because it's not that big of a tire wear multiplier, it would be in Monkus's best interest to hang back and take the pass when it comes to him, instead of beating his tires up to try to make it happen. Because if those tires become beat up, then he's not in a good spot. And it looks like Star is going to go defensive into turn one. He's going to make Monkus fight for it if Monkus wants it. And Monkus needs to know he doesn't have to play the game. He doesn't have to play it. He will get this if he keeps it cute, but he's not keeping it cute. Looking for the over under there into turn 3, turn 4. Not so much of a passing opportunity unless Star makes a mistake, which I don't think he will. We've seen a lot of great racing and driving from him here. Another great passing opportunity into turn 4 here if you can get close enough to make the dive on the brakes, but it is a fast corner, and the faster the corner, the harder it is to pass. It's just less of a braking zone. There's less of an opportunity to outbrake your opponent when they don't have to slow down that much in the first place. Laguna Seca is one of those tracks that, while it doesn't feel like it, you got to be surprisingly brave to make passes work if your opponent doesn't make mistakes and give them to you. The good news is that it's fairly easy for opponents to make mistakes here. It's a very slippery track, like I said, and that catches people out often. I think that's part of what makes this track difficult. None of the corners, except a couple, are actually difficult to maneuver, but that lack of traction can hurt you there. As we see Munkus not quite get the traction he needed out of turn 11. He took it very wide, or a shallow entry, to try and get out on the gas on Star Shooter, but was unable to make it happen. So here we are talking about what it takes to pass around here. Munkus not able to take the dive into turn one and two, and he's just kind of stuck behind Star Shooter, burning those tires up, Mr. Casual.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm the kind of person that I'm going to. Ooh,
I think lag,
maybe,
the
possibly,
gap is growing a little bit,
yeah,
not by as much as it looked like it would have if that was really how badly he went sideways.
But yeah, I generally like to let the person make a self-inflicted error as opposed to forcing the issue, unless I'm against someone like a Jorge, because he's a pretty consistent driver. But yeah, it's like generally that's how I like to. I like to let the race unfold instead of forcing the issue.
I agree. Unless I'm in a place where, hey, I have to make this pass right now because the race is ending or because I have someone bearing down on me, but from behind, I'm the same. I like to force errors from behind. I'm all in your mirrors. I am feinting, that I'm gonna die for the inside, or I'm just gonna find some way to disrupt your line to set me up for a pass 2-3 corners down the way. Munkus kind of doing that. Munkus being a nuisance, being really annoying, even when there are times where he doesn't seem to have the real space to make the pass. His goal is to simply disrupt Star Shooter enough to make the pass, which I think we just saw Star Shooter out a little wide in turn 3 there. If we can get a replay, I would love to see it again, because Munkus was enough of an annoying nuisance to actually make it happen. There we are going into turn 1 and turn 2 here for them. Munkus is going to have the inside for turn 3. And
there was contact.
There was a little bit of contact there. I don't know if Munkus was actually going to take that dive, but a little bit of a touch pushes Star Shooter wide. Something that we call a racing incident. Not quite a bump and run or anything like that, just a touch. And that gave Munkus the lead there, and he's pulling out a really good gap. It's already 1 second.
Yeah, so even though it wasn't on the broadcast super, we had to look at the replay, and yeah, there was a bit of a bump there. Unintentional, I'm sure, but yeah, there was indeed a bump that caused Star to go wide.
And you know what? I don't know that bump was Munkus going wide. To be honest, I think Munkus was there. I think he just did a very good job of suddenly switching sides on Star Shooter, who missed that it had happened and tried to turn in for that corner where you normally would turn in, and there was already a car there. Which is why I called it a racing incident. Obviously, if it is reported to the stewards, they'll be able to replay it a million times and really look and see what happened. But to my eye, it looked like Munkus was just there, did just a quick switcheroo from the left mirror to the right on Star Shooter. Star not really knowing where he was and already in his motion to turn in for turn 3. Just kind of touched him. If he didn't quite commit to it though, because he would have been spun if he had. Just a tap, slowed down, Bobby threw him off, and he probably would have been able to come out a little bit better and still been able to fight for it. If he probably just let off the gas or stayed slow for a second. Anyway, who are we looking at? I'm looking at Felix here. I think on the broadcast you guys are seeing Jorge, who is that Tom? No, Tom is like 10 seconds ahead. So that is an S7R driver there, a lap traffic there. I thought that's Rusty. I thought Jorge was in contention for a second. Who's that right ahead of Rusty? That is Lazy. Yeah, he's not looking to catch up to Tom anytime soon. Let's see who else we got going. Broadcast is looking at Lucas, who's in quite a bit of no man's land. 24 seconds to Jorge ahead. 12 seconds behind. lot of cars who are just far away from one another. We don't really have a fight going on except that P1 track that we were looking at.
And their gap is now Monk is 3 seconds clear of Star.
Yep.
Now
It's not a battle anymore. It's over with. But it was good to see, good to watch. And hopefully we get more as we continue. In fact, we have a pitter. That's Liba 222 into the pits there. So you never know. They might come out in some traffic and give us some action as we enter the closing laps of the race. Only 8 laps to go, just about 8.5.
10, because we're on, well, not with whoever we're with Liba, Rusty, we're on board with now. We're at 57, so
yeah,
yeah,
57 of 66.
Okay.
For Rusty. He's getting those blue flags. You can see that on the screen there just ahead of him. It says blue flag, and then as we pass flagging stations on track, you'll see actual little human figurines waving blue flags, and that is a sign to him that the cars behind him are about to lap him, or there is a car behind him that he needs to let by. It says give way to faster cars. Of course, rules here say that he doesn't have to until he reaches a zone such as this. And then there's the fact that, well, the car behind actually has to be in a position to pass. So Jorge looking to get closer and closer to make that happen, but Rusty doesn't have to do anything now. He's just being warned that that's gonna be something he's got to do here. Petrol says, horrible track this is. Stop it! There will be no Laguna Seca slander in this broadcast. Okay, who are the admins? Who are the stewards of the chat? Because I think Petrol needs to be.
Kind of sounds like I have a love for any of the St. Croix tracks, and a lot of people don't know them, and they're like, man, this place is horrible.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of my favorite tracks are tracks I struggled with, and I had to lap them so much to learn them. I grew to love them. Not gonna lie, Laguna Seca is one of those. I struggled with Laguna, and I think I ran like 200 or 250 laps in a week around here one time, and picked it up, and I was like, oh, this is the best racetrack in the world. Not literally, but it's one of them.
Yeah. The funniest part about St. Croix is I can't tell you when I learned the layouts, and I don't even know one layout from the other. But you put me at any layout, and I can drive it pretty well enough compared to like most people who are like, I don't know if I'm going left or right. Which is this a blind corner? Is this a hairpin? What's coming up?
Certainly the longer layout, what is it, C, I believe, is the longest one. That one is hard to learn and memorize, for sure, unless you have a reason to have to practice it. And my skill set on any of the St. Croix layouts, it webs and it waxes. It waxes and wanes, rather, is the word I'm looking for.
Because, yeah, if you just look at the track map of any of the St. Croix on paper, you're like, what the hell were they on?
Yeah. I'll get really good at them, forwards and backwards, depending on, what league race I'm practicing for. Or back when I used to do dailies, you're running it over and over again. But it's kind of few and far between. So I'll go hard on learning the track, but then I'll go 2 years without ever being on it. And so you just kind of forget all the little things that actually make you fast if you don't race them consistently, especially the longer layouts. They're just not easy to memorize. Do you have any, give me your top 5 tracks that are in Gran Turismo.
That aren't or are?
That are.
Are. Oh, well, I've already kind of told you that basically any St. Croix layout is fine with me.
That counts as one. There are 3 layouts, and you can't. That's not 3. That's 1.
Well, at least you're not using PD math, because they're like, all right, here's a new layout, and giving you the reverse version, and that counts as a new track. I was like, That's not how it works. Kind of like the time when they added the 24-hour layout to Spa, and they called that a new track. It's like, that's not a new track.
We're like, all you did was move the pit exit.
But yeah, the places I enjoy the most, I already said St. Croix. I do enjoy, I would say, Nürburgring. I probably learned that during GT5.
They had the great track tutorials. Same. I truly learned it in GT5.
Let's see. So there's that, and then can't go wrong with Spa. So even on my worst days, I can race fairly competitively at Spa. Let's see. Other place that I really like, I guess I've kind of I would say initially I was kind of lukewarm on Red Bull Ring, but I've kind of gone up higher the list, so I do like Red Bull Ring. Though some of those turns definitely try to convince you to go wide so that you'll get a penalty, but
some crazy sausage curves there too, right? Like, just like Laguna here.
Yeah, and then there will be, like, there's some tracks that I'm just not really quick at, but I'll enjoy, say, like a I guess like a Dragon Trail Seaside. It's like I enjoy the track, but it's like I'm not as quick as the top slip people.
Yeah.
Say as they are, but yeah, there's a few tracks, but I would say probably of those that I listed, I was like I probably like St. Croix the most. But yeah, I do find that I tend to prefer wider, more open tracks. I can race narrow tracks, but I think I tend to prefer more open tracks.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own style. I like the narrow stuff, just because of the difficulty of passing and the bravery it takes. I'll try to keep this short because we're coming into the end of the race here. But I did type out what I think are my top 5. It's so hard to sit at 5, and I'm probably forgetting a couple. But for me, it's the Nordschleife. We named some of the same ones. It's the Nordschleife. It's Suzuka, so 2 narrow spots. Dragon Trail Seaside, we both named. It's so much fun racing there. Laguna Seca, of course. And an underrated one by everyone except my British folks, Brands Hatch.
It's still a crime that
car,
PD doesn't have rain there.
It is a crime because it's literally like, hello, rain. We're missing that. We're missing Silverstone. You know what? Give me just 2 this time. 2 classic PD original tracks that you wish were in Gran Turismo 7.
Because my first one was actually GT5.
Yeah, so you've got there are a few in GT5 and 6 that are not in Sport or 7.
Because it's like I can picture it in my mind's eye, but there's like some of the ones that I don't remember the name of.
Yes, fair.
Yeah, I was like, because I can literally picture it, but I was like, there's a few out there that are both American tracks that aren't in the game, and then there's some of the random Japan tracks that they had in there. Like, I don't remember those.
I know exactly what you're talking about because 2 of them are on my list. I'll name 3. Tokyo Route 246, you're probably thinking about.
Okay. I was thinking
SSR
2 something.
Special, 246 I think is what you're thinking about. Special Stage Route 5, I believe, is also nighttime in Tokyo. That was always great for racing. And then I'm going to add Midfield Raceway to that, which I believe was probably in America, quote unquote. That one always made fun open lobbies in GT5 and 6 for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bring those back, please. Where are we? Let's do a rundown of positions here as we close out this track or close out this race. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about the rest of the season. I see that graphic up on the screen here. So we already did Red Bull Ring, Austria. Now
Mm-hmm.
we're on round 2, Laguna Seca. The next track, ooh, one of my favorites, is Monza in Italy. That'll be on May 16th. And then we have Le
Mm-hmm.
Mans in June, as one does. Watkins Glen will be in July. We're going to Fuji, nice, in Japan in August, and Road Atlanta, hey, up the street from me here. Well, maybe a couple hours, but anyway, Road Atlanta, another favorite of mine, in September, and then Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in November up in Canada. I'm gonna have to get in here. I am on one of these racing teams. I'm gonna definitely have to make sure I'm here for probably the Monza round, Road Atlanta. You know what? Fuji is a track I used to hate, but I've learned to love it
Mm.
again because you throw down 200 laps. You just, what can you do
Yeah.
except love something?
But yeah, see, we're on our final lap. We're on board with our leader, who's got a just under 20-second gap.
Yeah. Wow. Monkus absolutely ran away from Star Shooter. That is decisive for him there. That is a first place finish, and he's just going to have to take it home now. He's almost at the end. This is turn 7 and 8 of 11. So just a couple more corners here, and he'll be crossing the line. We're going to stay with him as he comes into one of my favorite corners here, actually, turn 10. It's a lot of fun. It's really fast. You can mess it up really easily. And then turn 11 is another fave of mine, especially in the 911, because you can come out of it in first gear, as we see Monkus does. At least in the RSR, he can really ring out that first gear. He switched to second there, but yeah, he takes the checkered flag anyway, wins it. Congratulations to Monkus and that team for their win here. We're going to watch Star Shooter with, I think, what was this, RA Team White? Sorry, NVR Team White.
Mm-hmm.
He is about to cross the line also in that 911. Congratulations to that team for making it to second place here. And then Felix with that huge pass on Tom that we saw several laps ago. Tom never able to come back. He's going to cross the line here, take the checker, and now here comes Tom from the last corner. I think Tom definitely had a huge chance to be on the podium if not for that spin, but he will take the checker flag just outside of it and gain great teams points for his team. Jorge in 5th place for his team here. I know that flag waver's arms are getting tired, and he has some cars who still have another lap to go. Lucas here in 6th place, navigating the last couple of corners before crossing the line as well. Take a look there. There he is, flashing those lights. And then Ink, of course, who we saw have
Yep.
some moments on track there. A little bit of battling, a clean race for Ink in that car. Oh, and that the timer has gone off, so
Mm-hmm.
we will not see more. But victory for Monkus, up 7 positions at the start, from the start of this stint. That is
Yep.
insane. So congratulations to Monkus. I see why they put you on the last leg of the relay here. Good job on the win.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
see. We still have a whole second split of
Oh, yes.
races today. Yeah.
Mr. Casual, if you want
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead and dip out and get the next lobby
Yeah.
ready to go,
Let's
I
get
will
a
conduct
relay.
with Toddy. We could do post podium interviews. How's that sound?
Okay. Yeah,
See you,
sounds
Mr.
good.
Casual.
Conquer,
Thanks for
divide
joining
and
us.
conquer. Yeah, divide and conquer.
That's right.
All right.
So, all right, I will go. I think we have a podium or an interviews channel, Toddy. If you want to migrate over there with me.
I'll dip over there. Yes, I'll be back.
All righty.
And I'll.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get over there. Oh, I'm already in the room. I'm just waiting for Tati and Podium to join me. If you are a viewer and have a team there, go ahead and pop in over here. I put it in the IRO chat that they can head over here. Where is it? I'm trying to find the team reps channel. There we go. Toddy, what did you think of the race? What was your thoughts?
It was great. I did not get to catch the first stint, so I will have to kind of catch up backwards on that. But I mean, the second stint was awesome. We saw some pretty good battles here. Also saw some drivers just kind of stay consistent and bring the car home for their team. I'm hoping in some of these future rounds, maybe even split two, that we'll get to see a lot more close on track action. But you know, it's a 90-minute race, so it also makes sense that nobody's going to take too big a risk around here because it's worth it to finish the race, obviously.
Absolutely. I have some stuff here. We're just waiting for the podiums to arrive.
All right, no problem.
But let's discuss. We discussed the upcoming schedule, so that's great. And then we have, these are provisional results, but if you want to, you can give us a little rundown. Oh, we forgot to. I kind of rushed
Yeah.
I forgot to grab screenshots, but I rushed the finale. Actually, I might be able to pull that up still. Actually,
Yeah, no worries.
hold on.
It's still
No,
running
it's too
like on
late.
the.
Remember, we had to close the lobby because we had to rush
We had to close it.
casual.
That's
Yeah,
right.
um, to get him ready for the next lobby. So that is an oversight, but congratulations to our all of our drivers for a well fought race.
Absolutely. As usual, this community always puts on great racing, and to no one's surprise, we got two great stints in one great race already today. And then in a couple of hours, we'll get to do the same thing over and over again with a whole other set, another crop of
Oh yeah,
drivers who, by the way, they're split too, not because they're slow, simply because there's
there.
only so much
That's the
space
right
in
one.
these lobbies.
Right. Yeah. I think I will say just on air critique of myself is I think next time I will probably only have to be able to support 13 drivers because it's really important that we have race control. And I think maybe my eyes were so big to having fuller lobbies that not having that race control there to be there kind of monitoring everything, or you know having that second commentator able to be in the lobby and having an extra set of eyes on the track. I think it's very helpful to have.
Yeah, like you said, more eyes on the track is better. It just it sucks that we do have to remove someone to do it, but it is what it is. I have the standings on screen here. I'm gonna go ahead and read them, though they've probably been on the screen for a while for you viewers. The standings. I'm sorry, Stig. Are these? This is including today's finish.
This is
Oh, as of round one, I see it.
provisional results for end of race one. So we are still. I just wanted to make a public announcement as
live
well
stream of it. He took it
that
down. Been reportedly 3 ambulance spotted on the
you got
track.
a hot mic. Hot
Yeah,
mic.
Maverick, if you don't mind muting
Not
your
showing
mic.
anything on any of the streams now.
Well, I can hear you.
I hear some pretty bad news today.
Okay, can you mute him, Stig, from the
It's possible.
broadcast
Yeah.
here? So, yeah, there we
I don't
go.
think he knows he's in the room.
I don't know either, but yeah, if you could.
No,
tell us
I do.
more
I'm
about
sorry.
these.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'll
okay.
mute it.
Oh. All right. I guess we're good. So yeah, just a public announcement that the stewarding results have been released, but these are 100% not the final results. We still have the opportunity for those teams to appeal if they do so choose to, and so this may change a couple opportunities there. If the penalty holds, it may move one driver or one team one or so position. but no more than that. So
Got
I'll
it.
just
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. And then so these are the provisional results for race 1. We will try to get the race 2 results out sooner. Make sure you guys put in those stewarding tickets. But yeah, this is just the preliminary results for provisional results for race 1, and then it seems to be it's going to shake up a bit because there's a lot of teams that finished higher in this race than they did the last race, and there's others that finished higher in the first race that finished a bit lower in this race. So those points might be a bit more equitable across the entire split.
Yeah, we'll see. Here's hoping. And, to the drivers that are listening, please do get those tickets in as quickly as possible and help our stewarding team out here. Everyone does this on a volunteer basis. And, we all got lives and real jobs and school and all that stuff to get to. And so, obviously, the stewards will try their best to get the results out as quickly as possible. And part of that is drivers, putting in their tickets on time. So there's no question of, no back and forth on whether or not an incident should be reviewed or not.
All
And
right.
also the quicker that incidents can be reviewed.
Just a public announcement as well. The lobby 2 or the split 2 lobby, split 2 stint 1 lobby is open. So if any drivers for split 2 are watching, please go to GTSC announcements. But we will conduct the race interviews with at least one driver today. It looks like we have NVR Team White in the chat. And I don't know if we're going to see Zalgiris, S7R Zalgiris with Macho Monkey join, or if we're going to see P3 with Project One Racing join us. Or actually, it wasn't P1R, it was Team Tavernello. I don't think they will be able to join us, but we got NVR Maverick here with his teammate. I don't know if his teammate's going to be able to join us, AMS Super 2K, but yeah, if you want to come off and unmute your mic, we could kind of chat.
Cheers.
I'm right here.
You can do it.
Toddy, you go ahead and drive this interview.
I can try. Maverick, congratulations on, I believe that was second place for your team here, behind Zalgiris there. But you put on a solid race. I think you led for most of it, right?
Yeah, we led pretty well. Pretty proud of New Velocity Racing. Proud of AMS Super 2K for doing pretty well in stint 1, giving me that little lead. But car was loose all the way through. Got a little bit tight, but you know what? Congratulations to Munkus. He earned it. Just couldn't hold it for much as I could.
Awesome.
Yeah, congratulations, of course. Do you feel like you maybe would have swapped strategies to be, to do a medium soft stint instead?
ERF is doing something as well.
You know what? We were talking about that in the beginning of the entire before either this race began, whether I wanted to go on softs in the beginning and then go to a medium compound, or switch it around. But at the end of it, we decided to go for a medium soft strat because we thought, we can go at least 40 laps at least, which we decided to pit on 39. That was a driver decision, not a crew decision. But at the end of it, we, held our own. I gave those soft tires the best I can. I made some mistakes myself as a driver, and that ultimately cost us a win, which I was aiming for the entire time. Good battle there with Munkus, by the way. He was driving the way he was. I was holding my line, and if that's how he wants to win, he's more than welcome to.
Heard. Yeah, well, that is.
And I couldn't even save the replay either to put in a ticket, so I'm not even gonna post. Just a heads up.
Shoot. Make sure.
Got it.
Yeah, we probably.
We're very sorry about that. Mr. Casual did have to leave the lobby very quickly, and he was hosting, but we'll make a note of that to make sure that drivers do have time to save the replay for this purpose, of course. I think, well, Stig, maybe you can speak to this later outside the broadcast, but maybe we can figure out how he might still be able to put in a ticket if he needs to.
That particular, I mean, it may have been caught on stream. I think we did discuss
It
it
was.
on commentary.
Well, I mean, you guys saw
did
it, so I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
So,
we're not
I
stewards though,
think
unfortunately.
right.
I know.
I just saying that it's on video, and so I think it could be submitted anyway, and maybe you could be redeemed there. But regardless, you put on a great race, and you did your absolute best, and I think you raced very, very well. That battle was difficult, and you stuck with it. And you were, tires were wearing, but you didn't get a chance to really show what you could do towards the end, and hopefully we'll get to see more of that the next round. I
Well,
appreciate you. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I'm just still very proud of what we accomplished after Red Bull, after a struggle there with
Yeah.
the way our Porsches were performing there, and coming here to much more of a Porsche friendly track, we were pretty confident we were gonna be at least podium. I mean, like if we were to finish lower than third, that would have been disappointing for us. But just very proud of everyone on NVR, putting a lot of work into this car, all the practice. And we'll just have to be ready for Monza. That's what we have to go. We have to go past this one and shoot on to Italy and have a good chicken parm dinner after it.
Ha, nice, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you were able to accomplish at least the goal of getting on the podium on this track. We did talk about strengths and weaknesses on different cars, and you want to perform your best on the tracks where your car is supposed to have an advantage, and you guys absolutely pulled that off.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I think I saw Felix join. I did see Felix join. Felix with
Yes, yes.
Tabernello Racing Team. You guys came in third place in this race. Congratulations, Felix. How are you feeling after that third place? You kind of had to fight to get back up in that position.
Yes, yes. First thing, sorry for my voice. I'm a little sick. I'm
Aw.
losing my voice. Sorry. But yeah, it's been a great experience. My friend told me 1 week ago if I wanted to join this race. I said yes. I thought it would be easier, maybe, but after qualifying, I saw really good drivers, and I don't think I am at this level. But yeah, my goal was not to do mistakes or touch something outside the track. So yeah, it was a good race at the end. I pushed a lot at the end after my first stop because the Ferrari was on medium and I was on soft. So I enjoy really this race and yeah, a good one.
Great. And Felix, you don't think you're at this level, and yet you were on the podium being interviewed. I think you are on this level, especially knowing that everyone else here has had over a month to practice
A
this
month?
race. They knew this race. They had 1 month. Sorry, 1 month. You came on in a week and got a podium. You absolutely are at this level, and you belong. And you're sick. You're getting sick, dude.
Yes,
Please.
but the most funniest thing, sorry for my voice. The most
Okay.
funniest thing is that I didn't do a single lap until 1 hour before the race. I did
No
just
way.
5-6 laps on the soft and stop. I asked my friend what was the strategy 5 minutes before. So yeah, I'm happy. Like I said, my goal was not to make mistakes, and it was perfect. It was my first long race, if I can say it. 1 hour and a half. I never did it, so a good experience.
Good. Well, I'm
Yes.
glad to hear that you had a great experience with it, and telling us that only makes it that much more impressive for us. I hope your friend invites you to do more races with the team, and we definitely want to thank you for joining and being such a great part of today's racing.
Thanks you all.
Yes. Now, who is that just joined? Is that my friend Super S2K of Team AMS?
What's up, Dottie? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Super?
I'm doing okay.
Oh,
Good. Yeah, I'm okay. You just okay.
just okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more about that. Are you feeling? Well, actually, let me ask first. Is it related to the race or is it something personal? I don't want you to have to share that.
More so related to the race. It's just in my eyes, I feel like I mean, Monk. Well, first off, congratulations to Monkus. I mean, Monkus is a rapid driver. First off,
Heck yeah.
I'm not going to deny his pace. I'm not going to say the race wasn't deserved, but you know, I mean, he earned it. He drove his heart out. I think he started the stint. I think it was like a minute 12 behind, and clawed his way back up. So again, props to him. But you know, him being able to drive 2 stints was a kind of a tick in my head for me. Pretty much the whole hour and a half of me watching the stream. Every time I see him go up a position, I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, like just stop there. Yeah, I mean. But my race was pretty good. I was keeping up with Monkus, and Monkus is really a fast driver. He's one of the top drivers in Europe, and Europe somehow have like 3/10 on us every race and every single thing. So to be able to stick with him the whole time was pretty cool, and you know, build a good gap to P3 behind at the time. So yeah.
Listen, obviously you understood the assignment, did what you had to do in the first stint there, and put your teammate in a great position. Maverick, obviously we've already spoken to Maverick, but got himself into second place there, and maybe, you know, something could have changed and y'all would have been in first place, but it was largely due to your work that even put him in that position in the first place. I wish I'd been able to watch, but I missed your stint. Super.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. I know. You forgive me?
Maybe I'll forgive you. Next race,
Think about it.
next race you should get my stint if I'm racing.
Yes, I will do my absolute best. I will beg to be able to commentate on your stint. I'm hoping to race myself, so I don't know. I think I'm split 2 though, because I didn't actually qualify.
Ooh.
So maybe I'll be able to commentate on
Maybe I can find a way to commentate your stint.
Ooh, yes, make me look good, please.
Let's go. Join us, 2K. Let's go.
It depends on my schedule. I'm kind of a busy racer, so it depends if I have a race after, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we don't have another podium person joining here. So Stig, do we want to take a pause so we can move on into split 2 or split 2?
Yeah, I guess we could just do our outro here and say, you know, great race to our winners. Congrats to Zalgiris for a crazy comeback into stint 2 after stint 2 after their disconnect in stint 1. Yeah, we probably address some concerns that we are hearing at the IRO as far as the number of drivers that participated, since it was just Monkus for both stints. So we will definitely be discussing you know, the future regarding that. I just want to say that live and publicly now. And then 2, my apologies for having the same person host 2 stints back to back. Didn't get maybe the opportunity for some drivers to save their replays. Didn't happen. I apologize. Will not happen again. Hopefully, you guys can still snag a video of it in some way, and then we can go forward from there. But lessons learned. We always work to improve our processes, and keep watching the action. We still have a whole nother split to happen, and when I end the stream, it'll redirect there, and we can let split 2 do their thing. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toddy. Thank you, McNaughty, for hosting an amazing stint 1 with Hovercraft, and we'll see you guys in a bit.
We'll see you guys in a bit. I'll be back for stint 2 of this split. So I'll be back in a couple hours here with you, Stig.
All right. Thank you, Toddy. And yeah, have a good day, everybody. And we'll stay here for the action, okay? Bye-bye.